Hey Patriots, welcome back to Patriot Life with Candace Keller. It's great to see you again today. I want to remind you about our motto, enough talk, enough tyranny, get involved, get educated, or get out of the way. I am here to educate you on the Constitution and also to let you know that Patriot America, which is our sister organization to Patriot Life, is still in the business of educating people about their rights, teaching people how to run for office at the local level in nonpartisan races. And I'm traveling all over my state and many states actually doing this. And so we have a Patriot Pack we can send to you. A lot of you have seen me show this to you before. This has our narratives in it that you can use when you approach your school board about mask mandates. When you approach your city council members, there is the script here for you, township trustees, your county commissioners. And we sell this up to you for $35 along with Constitution and some other resources in here for law enforcement. Also, the law regarding face masks, the law regarding mask mandates, and also forced vaccinations that apply in all 50 states, by the way. We send this out with The Art of War by Sun Tzu, which is a fabulous book that everyone should read. It's a really quick read, but it's fabulous about war and about tyranny and things that we're facing right now. We send out an Ohio Constitution for free, of course, to everybody. If you live in Ohio, if you want one. And then the Doctrine of the Lesser Magistrates, which is a fabulous book that is about taking back government at the local level. This virtually will be the set of principles that will eventually save our nation, because it really truly teaches us why all government is local. And please visit our website, patriotamerica76.com. If you want to order a Patriot Pack from me for $35, please email me. We do not have these in our online store because they're just for a limited time. Email me, tell me that you want me to send you one, and I will certainly be happy to send that to you right away. We have a little shipping area here in the studio. And again, visit our website and email me, patriotamerica76@gmail.com. That comes directly to me. I'm getting about 100 emails daily. I'm trying my very best to keep up with you all. And you have a lot of great questions. I love talking to you, and I talk to probably 25% of you on the phone when I have time. One of the things I've been doing that's been kind of enjoyable is meeting with parents about school board meetings. And I've been going around even to public parks and picnic areas and meeting with groups of parents, like 100 at a time, and talking to them about how to respond to school boards about forced face mask wearing of their children. Now, in the state of Ohio, 0 children have died of the virus. The entire time, 0. None. 0. And so the forced face mask wearing of our children in school is, number 1, unconstitutional. Number 2, it's a violation of right to privacy. And number 3, it is a violation of Civil Rights Title II, which is discrimination that we did in 1964 in this country. So I have with me, I always keep things in sort of 2 piles. I have the employer pile, and then I have the school pile. Because the school board meetings have become, at least here in my area of Southwest Ohio, rather contentious. And that's a shame. It's a shame because you know what? Your local county commissioners can shut this whole thing down right away by writing an ordinance and stating that the county itself will not obey illegal mask mandates or illegal vaccination mandates coming out of the state. And I have a sample ordinance that I put on our website that you can show to it's just 1 page. Your county can adopt it. It's happening nationwide. New York just did this up in upstate. They told the governor, who's completely out of control in New York, that they're not going to do what he says. And so the whole county is free and open. Isn't that great? So that's called local government control, and it works very well in this country. It is the key to setting you free. So let me just give you some quick responses. This is I'm going to go real slow on this because there's a lot on here. Businesses that are open to the public, if they're starting to clamp down on the face mask wearing, let's talk about that again. I can't believe we're still talking about this, but it's so ludicrous. remember, our Constitution talks about it. The Constitution stays out of private business, but it does have certain things that it mentions, such as once you become a place of, quote, public accommodation, there is no such thing anymore as a store policy that trumps the law. So each state has different laws, and then every business that comes, becomes a business is what the Constitution calls public accommodation, and then they are liable to follow state law. That's why in 1955, when Rosa Parks decided that she was not going to sit in the back of the bus, she was challenging that bus company's company policy by standing on the law. What a courageous woman. And she simply said, no, I'm not doing that. And of course, that really triggered a large part of the civil rights movement until in 1964, the law was made to say that every person in this country must be treated exactly like every other person in this country. So everybody sits wherever they want to sit on the bus. Everybody sits wherever they want to sit in a restaurant. Everyone goes to school with a face mask on or not a face mask on. And anything other than that would be defined as discrimination, according to Civil Rights Title II. So a private business that is open to the public is legally defined as a place of public accommodation. That's the first thing you should know. This means the public has a right to use the business. So if a store says to you, you have to wear a mask here because that's store policy, that is a violation of the law, because they could just as easily say, no one black is allowed to shop here. That's our policy. That is a violation of the law. Therefore, their store policy means nothing. In fact, it's illegal and they can get into trouble for that. So they must obey the law, because Civil Rights Act Title II requires that a place of public accommodation, a business must provide free and equal access, that's what it's called, of all services and facilities without discrimination. Same goes for a school. No school can turn away any person who is, for reason of the color of their skin, ethnicity, any reason, what they wear, anything that they wear. So a private business can create any policy they want, but it always has to be lawful. So since the CDC guidelines and your, quote, county health department's orders are not law, nor do they have the authority ever to make law ever, when challenged, courts have determined that businesses cannot be subject to fines for noncompliance because they have not broken any laws. Now, if you're hearing about places that are fining you or a health department that's fining you, that is a violation of the law, because health departments do not make law. There is one entity in this entire country that makes law, and that is called the legislature. That is your legislator who represents you. In Ohio, there are 99 legislators, 64 Republicans, 35 Democrats. There was one Speaker of the House that controls the House. There are 33 senators, one Senate president. We have one governor. The governor does not make law. He has never made law. His responsibilities are severely restricted. So what if you were accused of trespassing? So I know you've probably heard this. Well, if you're not going to wear a mask, then we're going to call law enforcement and report you for trespassing. So, very interesting point. And a lot of law enforcement officers don't know this. Keep in mind, there are 2,800 laws in Ohio. It's very hard to know every law, even if you're a law enforcement. So accusers will need evidence to charge you in a public place with trespassing. Evidence is clearly defined in 29 CFR 1630 of federal regulations, what exactly trespassing is. You cannot have a policy that sounds like it applies to everyone, but really only applies to one particular group of people. So law enforcement cannot enforce store policy that is contrary to state law. That's a given right there. Law enforcement should instead be protecting the civil rights of the public, and it is your civil right to go where you want, do what you want in a lawful manner, which is what you're doing. When businesses learn that they cannot enforce face mask, they have turned to calling law enforcement, wasting their time, of course, and demanding that patrons be charged with trespassing or disorderly conduct. Now, Remember, disorderly conduct is actually defined under the law, and law enforcement officers do know the definition of it. It is when you are a threat to yourself or to someone else. So if you go into a store and you're simply there to buy milk or a loaf of bread, you're not being disorderly. You're just there to patronize a place of business. So you're not being disorderly, so they cannot arrest you for disorderly conduct. They cannot arrest you for trespassing because it's a place of public accommodation. So I would ask if they should call anybody. What law am I breaking? I need to know what law I'm breaking. And so can law enforcement cite someone that has not committed a crime? No, they cannot. And they know that they cannot. Under what statute is refusing to follow a health department order a crime? Health department orders are not the law. I'm going to keep saying that. Do you have any guidance, any evidence of behavior that would justify asking me to leave a place of public accommodation? So that these are all good questions to ask in a calm manner, of course. Shouldn't law enforcement be enforcing federal and local civil rights law rather than store policies that are based on health department recommendations? Health department recommendations are not the law. Does the business have any duty of care in accordance with possible liability laws? Duty of care is a legal term that means that a person running a business or owning a business must have care in regard to their clients. For instance, if you hire a CPA to do your taxes for you, that person has a duty of care to do the best job they can so that your taxes are done correctly and you don't get in trouble with the IRS. That's an example of duty of care. So is there any evidence of a threat other than you refusing to follow a mask mandate? This is all, I know this is all really elementary and it's things you must have thought about, but I wanted to bring it up again. Now, no shoes, no shirt, no service is not the same kind of business policy as a mask mandate, because sections of the law under the FDA define face masks as medical device. So, and of course, obstruct breathing periodically for some people. Some religions require face masks. And so you cannot refuse service to a patron simply because they are refusing to wear a face mask or because they do wear a face mask. They're one and the same. And of course, as we've gone over, the Ohio Revised Code describes unlawful discriminatory practice which prohibits any person from presenting entry to the full enjoyment is a term used in the Constitution and in the ORC, full enjoyment of a business establishment. These civil rights are designated to protect the public, and they are the law, and they prevent discrimination. So if we go on with this, if someone asks you, do you have a doctor's approval to not wear a mask? It is illegal for you or any employee to require someone to wear a mask. You're not a doctor, and you're certainly not my doctor. What law or court order designates to you the task of protecting the public known as duty of care, which I just reviewed? Okay, when you're told by a manager that their policy requires that you have a doctor's note, I would ask these questions. What physician's approval do you have to prescribe face masks to me? This is your employer. What court order has authorized you to prescribe medical devices such as a face mask? What court order or evidence establishes that I am any threat to you, your business, or any person? What court order imposes any control measures upon me? And what law requires duty of care of your business regarding any risk that is widely known to everyone in the community? So these are great questions to ask. They will have no answer because they don't want to be asked anything. What would a reasonable person think? And I don't want to go in too much about the massive number of, the very high survival rate of this virus that we have seen. You're all completely aware of that. The death rate in Ohio right now is virtually right at 0%. If not, it's a fraction. And we have had many, many other facts that have been misproven by the mainstream media, which is just an extension of the Democrat Party. And so, store policy is not the law. Remember that. This is a violation of your right to privacy. Any stranger asking you, are you vaccinated? It's a complete violation of right to privacy. Secondly, it's a violation of your civil rights, Title II. They're immediately discriminating against you by not allowing your child to go to school without a face mask, with a face mask on or without a face mask on. It's a violation of right to privacy, it's a violation of civil rights, and it's discrimination, and it's the breaking of law. Those are three things I continually say to people that are in authority over you. You're breaking the law. This is a violation of civil rights, because they're not thinking of it in that way, but that is exactly what is happening. So with that, I've spent a lot of time talking about face masks again, but I keep getting these same questions. And so if you need to reach out to me, please email me at patriotamerica76@gmail.com. Check out our website, patriotamerica76.com. Get our Patriot Pack, and all the information that I just gave you is in the Patriot Pack. I'll see you next time on Patriot Life with Candace Keller.